Hi Aries, this is Colleen Pearl and welcome back to the Cool Crone channel. This tarot reading for you is for the month of November, and you're going to want to watch till the very end because there's lots of planetary action taking place this month, and hopefully this taroscope is going to tell you exactly how to navigate everything right up to the 30th when we have an eclipse. Okay Aries, the spread that we're using today is just 4 columns of cards, one for each week. Week 1, Week 2, Week 3, Week 4. I'm going to read each of the cards in order and we'll see what they tell us. For Week 1, we start out with the Empress. So you are in a mode of taking care of people. You're taking care of people, maybe everyone around you, but most of all, you should be also taking care of yourself. You've got the Lovers next, which is showing me that you are in some sort of a relationship, or maybe this is, if this is a work situation, that you're very tight support or help to somebody that you work with. But with the Empress and the Lovers really close to each other, I'm thinking that this is a very long-standing, very committed relationship, and just make sure that you're still making time to take care of yourself as well as the other person and the whole situation around you, whether that's a family or co-workers or whoever is close to you. So the following card is the Page of Wands. There's a lot of people in this reading. So I'm not getting for you that there's anything happening the first week of November where you're really having to be super challenged except to take care of yourself more, or that there's anybody really taking any action around you that you have to respond to. So this is kind of a mellow week where you just have people around you. You've got the Page of Wands, could be a person who is giving you some information. It could be a younger person who is creating some kind of activity around you, but the result of that activity probably won't be seen until one of the later weeks in the month. And the final card for that week is the Star. So in this first week of November, although it doesn't appear that there's a tremendous amount happening that you have to react to, there are 3 major arcana coming up in this first week of November. So that means you've already set the ball rolling for whatever activity is taking place this week. And your job is basically to sit back and really let it happen. It's almost like reaping what you sow, right? And probably in a good way, not a negative way. Because the final card being the Star speaks of hope, it speaks of reward, of recognition, and of you just not having to sweat it too much, that you're being shown as the person that everyone can regard as whatever, really good, really positive, really nurturing, really loving. It's a really easy week for you because you've already laid out your plans. All right, week 2. So week 2 does have 1 major arcana in it. Week 2 is going to be, I think, much more challenging for you than week 1. So week 2, we start out with the Queen of Pentacles, and this most likely is you. The Queen of Pentacles is going to be a person who knows their business, they know what they're about, they manage things very well. And mainly they manage resources, which are pentacles, not necessarily only money, but resources. So if you're working in a business, say, where you're managing people, that's a resource and you do it very well. Then you've got, following on with this, some real challenges this week. The 5 of Cups is showing me that there is some kind of a project or some kind of a offer that you were hoping for that just isn't going to come through. That you're feeling like you have not accomplished your goal. Whereas in the first week, you probably were shown to be highly regarded in your circle. Now you're feeling like, where did all that go? Why am I not being regarded well, or why am I not being respected? I think that this is just a temporary blip. This 5 of Cups is a minor arcana, and all the good stuff that happened in the first week are a major arcana. So those things in the first week are happening on a much higher level than this particular disappointment in the second week. However, you do have some decisions to make, and the reason I point this out is because if you're feeling negative because of this 5 of Cups, like if you're being down on yourself, you may make a poor decision on the second week. We've got the devil in this week, and that says that there's somebody around you who is corrupt, somebody who is manipulative. I hope it's not you. It's just somebody around you, a person. And again, this is more than likely a business relationship, but it could also be bleeding over into your personal relationships too. So you've got somebody who's really heavy-handed with the manipulation, and that could be giving you the feelings of disappointment, like you're disappointed to find that out about this person, but more than likely you are being manipulated by this person and may not even realize it. And the disappointment, if you find that there's someone around you who is sort of piling on that, oh, woe is me kind of voice, that's the person that the devil is showing up as. So get away from that person and be positive, because towards the end of the second week of November, you're going to have to make a decision. And I would hate for you to make a decision out of a place of lack or feeling bad about yourself. I want you to make your decisions out of a place of strength where you're feeling good about yourself, because you are, after all, the Queen of Pentacles. So you are very, very capable. This feeling of disappointment is a temporary setback. All right, so for week 3. Week 3 also starts out challenging. We've got the Ten of Swords. Swords are very often words, messages, letters, things that you write, the ways that you communicate, this YouTube channel. I mean, swords are concepts, intellectual concepts that you convey to another person. And 10 of Swords that's a lot of swords. People very often, readers very often read this card as, knives in the back. It literally shows a figure on the ground with all the knives pointing towards their back. But the knives in this deck are not actually touching the person laying on the ground. So it speaks more to being about concepts, writing, letters, messages. So you may be feeling like other people are either talking about you, or they're talking about concepts away from you and not sharing that information with you. Now, the second card for the third week in November, Aries, is saying that you have an intellectual decision to make. Now, at the end of the first week, or the second week rather, in November, you had a decision to make about an action that you were going to take. And now you have a decision to make about something you're going to say, something you're going to put into writing or put into a message or post somewhere, probably about someone else. So this Ten of Swords, you may be feeling that people are judging you. People are saying things about you that you don't like, but remember, the swords are not touching you. You're just feeling that. So you're an Aries, do you really care what other people think and what other people are saying about you? I think most of the time Aries are pretty sure of themselves. And right now you need to dig into your soul and remind yourself that, yeah, I'm an Aries. I don't really care what people are saying about me. And going off and doing your own thing. Because again, you're the Queen of Pentacles. You're very, very capable. The third card in the third week is the Ten of Cups. This is the dreams come true card. It's a happy family. Everybody's safe. Your cup runneth over with love. So I really think you're probably going to take my advice and decide that you're not going to be the person that's just laying down and letting those 10 swords come into your back. You will be able to accomplish what it is that you want to do. And make sure, again, like the first card in the first week says, you're taking care of yourself, you're getting enough sleep, you're keeping yourself balanced and staying grounded, because it'll be very easy, if you don't, to get anxious and overworked over all of your situations going on. Everybody has busy lives. Your life during the month of November is especially busy. You've got some pretty heavy things going on, and also then some run-of-the-mill day-to-day things going on that require your attention. So just make sure that you're rested and that you don't lose sleep over any of these tiny issues, because you've got some bigger life issues to deal with. Well, let's look at the fourth week. The fourth week also starts out with a couple of major arcanas that are pretty strong. You've got the Emperor here. Now, you could be the emperor. You could be the person in charge who's making the rules and who is laying down the law to other people or guiding people or teaching people. It doesn't necessarily have to be just a Dickensian authoritarian stamping his foot. It could be just you being in charge. It could also be the other, though. So you'll know which one you are. Are you the one in charge, or are you the one having to placate the one in charge? That's what you have to figure out, Aries. The next card is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands shows a soldier who has been fighting and is just kneeling down on the battlefield, grateful to still be alive, and sort of getting ready for the next round, the next battle. Or perhaps it's the final battle and they're just thanking their maker for seeing them through the battle. Whatever it is, you're in a state of gratitude and also rest. You're not fighting. You're not taking action. You're realizing, contemplating, being grateful for what you've been given, whether it's talents and gifts or whether it's situations or resources. So in the fourth week of November, you do have a lot of things to look at and maybe be grateful for, and maybe also look back on whatever actions that you've had to take throughout the month that are leading you to this position where you're, like I said, either the boss, the emperor, or you're having to deal with the boss and the emperor. The next card is the Tower. Now, the Tower traditionally is read as a difficult negative card. It can be. It can also be things get shaken up and the change is good. It's not necessarily just everything's destroyed and it's awful, although the picture on this card does look kind of awful, the guy falling out of the tower and the tower's being hit by lightning. Life is really all about perspective, right? So you can choose to see the changes coming into your life as positive or negative. And I would strongly suggest that you try to look at things positively. It's going to serve you way better than if you spend most of your time feeling sorry for yourself or thinking that you got a bad shake. Look, life is all about change. Life is a series of ups and downs. It's what you do with those experiences. It's how you respond to those experiences. Your experiences are there to teach you things. And if you can understand what the lessons are, you will grow and you will progress and you will succeed the next time and the next and the next. But if you ignore the lessons that the universe is trying to teach you, then you'll have a lot more of these moments and you'll just feel beaten down. The universe is not trying to beat you down. The universe is trying to give you an opportunity to learn a lesson. And I think for a lot of Aries, your fire signs, sometimes you're impulsive, but you're also really creative and really excited about the next new adventure that's coming along. And so embrace this moment of change. Embrace this opportunity to learn the lesson and go forward from there. And the final card is the Eight of Swords. Eights are transformation. Eights are all about learning lessons. So in this particular card, although it looks like she's being held captive, she's not. If we really look at the card, first of all, none of those swords are actually in the ground. There's nothing connecting the swords. She could just stand up and walk through the barrier of the swords, but she has a blindfold on. And again, whatever's around her wrist, it doesn't look like it would be too hard for her to remove that or wriggle out of it. It's up to you. It's up to you the way that you look at this situation. So the last week of November is going to be very telling for you, and that's the week that's leading up to the eclipse. So if I were you, I would look very carefully at your own actions through the month of November and even the month of October, and see if you can decipher where the universe has given you the opportunity to learn lessons. And just look inside yourself. What lessons are you supposed to be learning? Do you need to perhaps change your actions or behavior in some way in order to have a better outcome? Do you need to maybe refine the way you speak to certain people to get a better outcome? Or do you need to look to the people around you who can act as mentors and learn more from them? There's a lot to be learned. Learning is a big theme for you this month, Aries. So don't waste the opportunity. It's right there in the palm of your hand. Okay, so that's November for Aries. I'd love for you to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. Thank you again